Hello and welcome to the Learn, Do, Become podcast. I am April Perry and I'm so happy you're here. Today we're going to discuss 4 practical ways to get more rest. As a quick note, if you are listening to this podcast when it goes live, we have a new coaching membership opening up to help you to be able to build your STEP Command Central and to be able to get organized and create peace. And if you want to find out more, it's launching on February 5th, 2026, and you can go to learndobecome.com/coach. So I hope you'll check that out. I'll talk about it more at the end of the podcast. So I've been listening to an audiobook this week called Rest: Why You Get More Done When You Work Less. That title totally intrigued me. And the book is so good. I have been fast forwarding through a few parts, but every chapter has something powerful in it. And one of the first things I learned is that our brains aren't, doing nothing when they're resting. I'd never heard of the default mode network before, but essentially, once we stop reading and working and focusing, our brain is still making connections and processing things in different ways. But that rest is what keeps us healthy and sane. And the book also highlights some of the best writers and scientists and thinkers in the world who had a ton of rest in their lives, so much balance, and they didn't push themselves like crazy. It was a great book, so I will be adding that into the show notes and to our Amazon bookstore. But whether you are looking to get more done or simply get more rest, I'm going to share some practical ideas today, along with some personal thoughts about rest and why we sometimes resist it. But my goal is to help you to feel calm and hopeful today. Most of us are carrying a lot of responsibilities with our personal lives, our families, friends, communities, professions, and all of the details that exist within those categories. You likely came to Learn, Do, Become because you felt some sense of overwhelm, and you want to create a peaceful, calm life while still doing the things required to keep everything going. And you want to pursue your unique purpose or calling in life. I mean, that's not too much to ask, right? But it often feels impossible when we're in the middle of it all. So in today's episode, I have 3 parts that we're going to walk through. First are just some common reasons we resist rest. Second, I'm going to share a few points about why rest is essential. And then we're going to dive into 4 practical ways we can create more mental and physical rest in our very full lives. What I'm going to be sharing today has actually already transformed my schedule, the way I'm working. In fact, before I sat down to record, I actually just laid down on this sunny spot on the carpet and closed my eyes and just rested for 20 minutes, which I didn't used to do like mid-morning. Anyway, it was so good. So, warning, if you listen to this podcast, you may get more rest. Or I guess promise, not a warning. Okay. So first, resistance to rest. This is actually the first podcast that I've recorded in 2.5 months because I've essentially been in bed with a virus for that whole time. In fact, I just got my voice back like a week ago. Anyway, this all happened through the holidays, and so I kept thinking I was getting better. Like, I've never been sick for that long. And so I'd get up and do things, and then my body just kept shutting me down. And my most common internet search during that whole time was, how do I get better faster? Like, it was driving me crazy. And because ChatGPT kept telling me to stop trying so hard and to just rest, I thought I would try another AI, Claude. I hadn't used that one before, so I logged into Claude to see if it had some better ideas. Like, don't tell me to rest. Looking back on it now, my conversation with Claude makes me laugh because it was basically yelling at me and saying, why do you keep insisting that you can't rest? Why do tasks and projects and meetings mean so much that you can't just take a break? You have been sick for months. Do you honestly think that everyone else's wants and needs mean more than your health? Where is all this coming from? Who's telling you that you can't rest? How is the world going to fall apart if you just take care of yourself? Anyway, it was hilarious. And I finally had to accept that I needed to heal. So I stopped talking for a couple of weeks. Eric loved that. And I literally rested as though it were my full-time job. And then I started to heal. And actually, Eric was my number one champ. He sat by me and took care of me through this whole thing. So here are some reasons, good ones I might add, that we often resist rest. And I don't know what you're personally going through right now, but I invite you to look at your life, or ask Claude to look at your life, apparently, and consider this question for yourself. Maybe we're in a state of anxiety and we're so used to feeling depleted that when we stop, we lose our sense of identity. Or sometimes we care so much about others that we lovingly sacrifice for them, and then taking time to replenish never becomes a priority. Motherhood often tested me here because it's so good to sacrifice to keep a baby alive or a child alive, but then that replenishment later that you need, sometimes you just kind of gloss over that. Or sometimes we're afraid we won't reach our goals if we ever stop. When there's something we can't totally control, but it is influenced by effort. Like when you're trying to find your soulmate, or you're trying to influence your children for good, or you're fighting for a political cause you believe in, or you're looking for a new job. It feels really valiant and courageous to say, I will not rest until blank happens. But we end up with poor physical and mental health in the process. And sometimes we don't want to have to think about our problems because we feel helpless when it comes to fixing them. So being busy is better. Now, I'm clearly not great at this yet, but my years on this earth, and particularly my past couple of months, have taught me that anytime I resist the rest my body clearly needs, there's a belief that needs to change. Okay, next section of the podcast. Is rest really essential? Now, I won't go deep into this here because there are so many good books and podcasts and videos on this topic. Another book is Sacred Rest that explains all the types of rest. I've referred to it before on the podcast. That one's super good. But here are a few points that have been really helpful to me. There is nothing healthy about having a chronically activated nervous system. When we believe everything depends on us and the whole world will fall apart if we don't protect, provide, or solve everyone's problems, we're just setting ourselves up to be sick. Nature is the perfect example of rest. There are seasons. There's things like farmland that needs to rest in order to have nutrients restored. Animals hibernate. Our bodies literally tell us when they need us to take a breath and slow down. Now, from a faith perspective, when the world was created, even God rested. And think about that concept of a Sabbath. Rest, I believe, shows faith in our higher power, however you may define that. And it takes maturity and wisdom and trust to move at a doable pace. Now, I would say courage doesn't always lie in pushing ourselves beyond our limits. For me, it lies in trusting my higher power enough that I can confidently rest. So hopefully you agree. And now we're going to dive into 4 practical ways we can create more mental and physical rest. Because after all this, you might be thinking, fine, April, I believe you. Rest is good and I don't get enough of it. How is this supposed to help me? So I'm going to share 4 very practical things, and I'll be pulling in some stories from our community members who are actually doing it. And come to the show notes page because I have pictures and their exact words that we put here on the page that they've given us permission to share. And the goal is to help get you out of the overwhelm through these simple systems so you can do what matters most to you. David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, was a game changer and taught me this initial framework. And I'm so excited to dive in. Okay, so now we go into the 4 points. These are 4 practical ways. Number 1, create future buckets that lighten the feeling of overwhelm. I talk about this all the time, but if you're new or if you would like a review, here at Learned You Become, we emphasize the importance of project lists. Okay, so projects are one-time, multi-step tasks that can actually be checked off. Not like laundry, because that's never done, that's a routine. But projects are things like, I'm going to establish a laundry routine. That can be separated into different steps and actually checked off. So I want you to think of a project pyramid. We talk about that a lot with current projects at the top, just a few, then next in line and someday. We also have some that are in progress, but we have other videos and podcasts that talk more about that. I will link to one of those in the show notes if you want more on that. But it is the easiest thing in the world to put 100 projects on your current projects list and say, I must build my career, organize my house, write a book, figure out a new exercise plan, celebrate every birthday and holiday, volunteer with every good organization, develop new skills like painting and breeding puppies, all while showing up to every political and social event and saving the world. That's actually easy to do, putting all that on a list. But it's difficult to say, I am one person with a finite number of hours and a finite amount of energy. Which projects are most essential and which ones can wait? So why is that hard? I think it's because we feel like we're giving up, or like we don't care, or like our dreams are dying if they're not labeled current. But it's exactly the opposite. When we have just a few current projects, and when the majority are next in line or someday in these future buckets I'm talking about, we can make progress and eventually get to everything that truly matters. That doesn't mean we get to everything we ever want to do, but the things that really matter will get done, and we can rest in the process. Now, there's a story from Ruby. I'm going to put it on the show notes page, but it touched my heart. In the midst of so much opposition, she built her command central. And then she has these cute pictures where it's like, hang on, I'm going to click on it so I can show you. Okay, her pictures are a before picture, so it shows her whole office. Then it says clear space, and it shows how she just took everything off the desk and cleared the space like we instruct. And then it says command central, and it has it all set up, and it's beautiful. So I want you to go and look at the pictures because it's amazing. And then she says something so profound, and this highlights the importance of the future buckets. She said she wasn't worried that the rest of the office was still a mess, because the command central looks beautiful, but the rest of her office is like all messy, because she says it was one of her first projects. She knows that she doesn't have to do everything at once in order to be a success. So come look at what Ruby's created. And then think about how empowering that is. If you can put something into a next in line or a someday, and then you can feel comfortable and confident when it's not being done for that period of time, that helps you finally take a break. So go, Ruby. So proud of you. She's amazing. All right, number 2, second practical way to get more rest is to eliminate the problems we can control. Shannon sent in a message that made me smile. She said, my daughter is bringing a friend home after school and, all caps, my house is already clean. Okay, it just made me laugh. So if you are new here or you haven't yet seen the power of current projects, next actions, routines, etc., this might sound crazy, but essentially when you break up, organize the house into distinct projects, maybe going room by room or section by section, and then when you establish routines that keep things generally clean, like having the family reset the room after use, you will never find yourself running around like a crazy person trying to tidy up. Home maintenance becomes something you do at a natural pace that works with your life. And rest fits in beautifully with that. Chip and Cassie said the same thing. I'm putting both of their little stories on the show notes page, so come visit. But they said, just want to encourage you all. For the first time in my adult life, I am not freaking out when I know people are coming over. We may occasionally have a small pile here or there, but it gets taken care of weekly. And then all caps, do not give up. You can do this. It is definitely a process, but so worth the time. I love it. So finally getting the house clean is one problem we can control. Another would be something like creating a budget and a financial plan that works for us and our family and will lead us toward financial independence. So Eric recently led an Arise workshop that was called Financial Independence from the Inside Out. That was our January 2026 topic. And it was so good. Our risers were able to create their financial net worth statements, and we're able to talk about sound financial principles that anyone on any budget can control. So if you're not yet in a rise, come to learndobecome.com/arise. We'd love to have you in there. When things we can control are not under control, we can spend so much time and energy worrying and dealing with the fallout. But when we prioritize those controllable problems, we can save ourselves so much hassle and make room for rest. Okay, number 3, eliminate the burden of procrastination. It is no secret that people lose sleep and feel weighed down by stress when they procrastinate. I'll keep this one brief, but by identifying the very next action required to move something forward, and then putting it on the calendar or a weekly context-based list, which hopefully you've seen pictures of that we describe, where it's phone, home, computer, errands, or to discuss, a weekly list with next actions organized by where you are when you're doing them. Once that next action is on that list or on the calendar, we can free ourselves from that mental weight. I used to procrastinate everything. Like literally, I would wait till the last minute to do homework, assignments, get ready for a party, get ready for a dance or whatever. I would just put it off. And now I literally don't procrastinate anything. And it's because of this tool. So here's a fun example from Nisha Lee, where she needed to review her taxes, okay, so she could electronically file them. And she came to our class and she learned about projects and next actions. And she was super excited. I'll read what she said. She was so cute to see her. And she said, okay, so less than 4 hours after attending your class, I completed one of my 8 projects, which was reviewing my taxes that have been completed for a month so that I could electronically file them. You are out here changing lives. And then she has like 5 smiley faces. She said, I wrote down the steps needed, which included cleaning off my desk, which I did. I plugged in the laptop and I signed in to approve the return. Anyway, she was so excited, and it was just so fun to see that she knew the next step was just clear off the desk, because she felt like, I got this big messy desk. I can't get in there to my laptop. I can't go and log in, right? So she figured it out and she got it done. And what was a big project in her mind, which you guys know how that is, it feels like it's so big, and then you sit down and it's like 5 minutes, it's done. You're so proud of yourself. So way to go, Nisha Lee. So awesome. And the final one, number 4, is to expect an appropriate workload from ourselves. There are several tools in our STEP program that can support you here, like doing a mind sweep where you get everything out of your head so you can see what you're dealing with, or writing down all the routines you expect yourself to do in a given day, week, month, year, or whatever, and adding up the time they take, and likely finding that you think you have 79 hours in a day. But the key to using these tools effectively is by adjusting accordingly. This concept of a multiple choice perfect day has been a boost for a lot of people. That's where you have a whole list of routines and everything you would love to do every single day, but each day you pick. Some days you do some of your routines and some day you do others, and you call every day a perfect day. Every day is perfect or complete, even if just a few things got done. But expecting an appropriate workload from ourselves needs to be part of our daily evaluation. For example, yesterday I made time to create our STEP coaching information page. That's the one I told you about at the beginning of the podcast, and I'll talk more about it at the end. But I'm finally able to start focusing on work now that my health is returning. And I thought that this page was going to take me all day, to be honest. So I blocked the whole day to just work on that page. But surprisingly, I finished in just a couple of hours. And I was pretty tired after that project. My body and my brain still recovering. A couple of hours of focused work was kind of a lot for me at the time. But instead of adding more to my workload and thinking, hey, look all this time I saved, now I have to do more things. Instead, I just decided I could just rest with that extra time and consider it a gift to myself. And that was huge for me, by the way. I haven't always been like the kind of person who would say, oh, that took less time. I think I will just take a day off. I don't do that. So that was awesome. And then there's this really sweet story from Lisa that inspired me. I want to share. She said, I started a new job recently, and today I came home from training with a long list of things to do, learn, know, and understand. 6 months ago, I would have been completely overwhelmed with this list and not have known where to start. I want to give a thank you and a shout out to April, Eric, and the whole team for doing what you do to teach us about staying organized. Because of Step Mastery, I now know how to prioritize the list of things that I need to do and break them down into next steps so that I am not completely overwhelmed. And that just touched my heart, because how awesome that Lisa now can go into a new job. She can learn new things, she can grow, and she doesn't have to feel overwhelmed in the process. And I don't know if you listened to the awesome interview that Coach Jill did with Jisa a few weeks ago, but she shared how prior to coming to Learn, Do, Become and going through the STEP program, she was incredibly stressed with her job. And while she was able to eventually get out of that position and move into a healthier one, she needed a way to manage everything that was coming at her. And she shared that she was often in tears because she was so overwhelmed. And she said it wasn't just a little bit of crying, like she was sobbing a couple times a week. And a search online somehow led her to our free webinar, and that's where her STEP journey began. And although the toxic nature of her job environment didn't change, she shared that she was able to receive everything that was given to her and organize it appropriately, prioritized in her STEP Command Central. And now in her new position, she has her 2 Command Centrals, one for work and one for home. And when she finishes her work week, she works from home, she just shuts down her computer and she shifts into home mode, no longer worrying about all the tasks and projects because she knows they're under control. So I listened to that interview while I was out on a walk, and wow, what a gift that she's willing to share. It's so good. So that's episode 309 of the podcast, and we'll link it on the show notes as well. So I hope that today's episode has been both practical and hopeful for you. I know when you're in the middle of chaos and emails and work projects and family struggles, it can feel like the world is on your shoulders. But I know that there is a way to manage that stuff of life so you can get the true rest that you need. And as a side note, I am really, really grateful to be back here on the podcast. There were some moments when Eric and I wondered if I was ever going to get better. It was like month after month. And we didn't know if our new normal was just going to be me living on the couch. And one afternoon, Eric said, if this is our life from now on, I'm here for it. I'm here for you. But I really hope you can feel better soon. And I love this community. And I know I can't see you, as I'm writing or speaking, but I read your stories and comments, and I genuinely care for you. So please stay close and watch for some exciting things that are about to be released. Eric and I have actually been working on a new visual path for success here at Learn to Become, kind of helping you see what's the learn, what's the do, what's the become, and what resources we have for you there. And also we've created some brand new success milestones in our Arise membership. That's super fun as well. And we're opening our STEP coaching membership on Thursday, February 5th, 2026. I'll give a little bit of perspective though for you. So, okay, if you are brand new at Learn to Become, we want you to explore the free resources. We have our new welcome kit at learndobecome.com/welcome. You can explore the YouTube channel, the podcast, get our newsletter. We have so many free resources for you. The do part for Learn, Do, Become is building a Command Central and actually getting it built and using it. If you are not there yet, we have free resources and we have our STEP program, and this new STEP coaching will fit perfectly to help you get success there. Then once you have a working Command Central, then we encourage you to move into the Arise membership. And this is where Eric and I are working with you and with our team, our amazing community, to be able to create a life where we wake up excited and we go to bed content. And we're not only organizing, but we're balancing with our relationship, our wellness, our purpose, having our home feel organized and our environment feel organized, and having a solid financial foundation. So Arise is growing, but we found so many people were saying, I need to get organized before I come into Arise. And this step coaching is like the missing piece of the puzzle. The most common request we have received in over 10 years here at Learn to Become is for coaching. People want something that's more personalized, where they can just show you what's going on and have you help them. So that's what we've got put together. So I'm very excited with our step coaching. It's going to be group classes, but it's paired with personalized email and text support, where you're going to be able to have a very organized structure where our coaches can help move you if you ever get stuck. And it's a level of care and coaching we've never been able to offer before, but now we have it all set up. So you can learn more at learndobecome.com/coach. All right, so I think that's all for today. I will just send my love and let you know how grateful we are that you're here. Everything I've talked about today will be on our show notes page, and you can find that at learndobecome.com/episode 313. Okay? All right, take care. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.